Hello, everyone. I must say it is a big honor for me to present you two very special, extraordinary people. I will introduce in a couple of minutes and which are cooperating with. First of all, Veronica Andrino is with us together. Hello, Veronica. Nice to see you. It's a big pleasure not only to see you here among us, but also to cooperate with you all the time. And Artur Kuklinski. Hello, Artur.
Hi, hello.
I would like to say in a nutshell that Veronica is a very successful woman. I think so far as I know, especially since last 5 years, she started a special kind of education in the Philippines, but I think not only in Philippines. So Veronica, I have the feeling you have a special mission, and maybe you would like to change the world, beginning from your motherland, Philippines. So that's a great idea, and maybe it is also good idea to show all the women that they all can be very successful, like you, for example. I think you are giving a very big inspiration. You can give a very big inspiration for all the women, not only in Philippines, but maybe in whole Southeast Asia. And Artur is our expert in blockchain. I must say, I have discovered a couple of years ago, Artur, and I'm very proud of it because he's a very successful young man with totally open-minded, open-minded, and he's giving also all of us a big inspiration. So Artur, I'm very happy we can cooperate together. So I would like to say maybe we will not pretend that we are journalists or making some interview, but I will suggest maybe we are making some small conversation about the last plans, about the main subject, main topic that is most interesting for us, about the decentralized stock that is opening on 29th September this year. So very, very soon, in a couple of days. So maybe that will be the main point. But if you would like, Veronica, to say something more about yourself, please do it.
Well, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me here, Peter, and to the rest of the guys. I'm very excited to meet absolutely one of the best community I've ever seen. I was so surprised ever since the first days you guys were reading Blockchain for Virgins, because the day when Tomas was presenting Blockchain for Virgins, it was presented in Poland, in Polish language. I was very, very fascinated and how the subject, because I created Blockchain for Virgins because it's kind of more like a game of a story. It was a really, really good story back then. So back in 2015, I was once like you. I have zero knowledge when it comes to cryptocurrency. Everybody were telling me buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is $200. Let's do something like this. Let's do virtual mining. I said, nah, I don't know what is this. No, I don't understand what is blockchain. I have zero knowledge. Then one day a friend of mine came and say, hey, why don't you give it a try? All right, just because of you, I will give it a try. I will buy the crypto. And I found out that it was a scam company. I invested huge money. And they said, so I found out that the company is a scam. I found out that nothing is real behind it. But still, I learned something new, because that moment, I started digging deeper into what blockchain is. And I was so surprised about how the history of money changes from back then. So 2015, I am a virgin. And I was de-virginized back then. And
Excellent.
now
Great.
blockchain because of that. So it was a good lesson. It was a good investment to be scammed. And I paid huge money, but I learned something new, which now gives me way more benefit. By this knowledge that I acquired throughout the
Yeah,
years, what I did is so much research. So I
that's
did
great.
heavy research when it comes to blockchain, when it comes to cryptocurrency, and how I can actually improve it, since I've seen many people crying every single day, stating that they lose their money,
Yeah.
hard-earned money of people, and I don't want to see people getting scammed. I don't like that. Now, I saw that there are a few people in the space which I follow, which is one is Scott Sternetta, the founder of blockchain. So I followed all his research, and I can see that how we can apply it in a real use case scenario, which is the education. So
Yes.
my goal was to empower the people such as us who have no experience into this industry. And I want to help those students as well to learn and to earn while they are studying. So
Yes.
that's the reason why I decided to create blockchain for virgins.
Okay, wonderful, great, Veronica. Arthur, could you tell us something more in a nutshell? How comes that you get involved in the world of cryptocurrency?
Well,
Okay.
it was, Veronica, it was a bit different than your story. I was introduced to cryptocurrencies world by a friend of mine. He's right here with us. I mean, Peter. And he told me, you should take a closer look to what cryptocurrencies are. And I did. And it turned out for me to be something incredibly interesting. And I can say I dedicated myself to cryptocurrencies world right now, because I'm working day and night, so to say, to get to know it better and to develop my knowledge regarding blockchain a little bit more. But I can tell you, Veronica, that I am big and I'm fan that you turn your let's say lose with this scam project to be your great advantage. That's something incredible, and I admire it about it.
Thank you.
So, in a few words, I would like to say I'm dealing with cryptocurrencies from 2011, 2012, so many years already. But mainly I'm physics, and I have a dream that I'm realizing over 30 years, how to combine together, how to connect together the physics and the psychology. So I have created a new mathematics which gives us the possibility to combine these three fields of science together. Maybe not science, but maybe human knowledge. And that's one point. And the second point, I thought we need something to empower the people. We need something to awake the people, because I think mostly they are not aware that we are making from the banks, the big corporations are making us to slaves. So when we are putting our money, our hard-earned money in a bank, we are losing that money because we have not the ownership of the money. Many people are not aware of this simple fact. So it is my goal to open the eyes to the people, to make a positive rebellion, positive in an educational sense of the word, like you, Veronica, and make a academy in which we can tell the people something more, not only about the cryptocurrencies, but also of a new desire, that we should have. the desire to write the human rights in the 21st century completely new, because we couldn't not foreseen all these new technology features. They came true, and we are using the human rights from the 20th and 19th century. So we should make them actual in these days. And the cryptocurrency word is the word that gives us the possibility to be independent from all the classic currencies, from all the banks. We are surrounded. So that's the main point. Okay, so so Veronica, when I could say that the most frequency asked question, so the people ask, okay, what will be new in the DEFinance stock? What is the main difference? When you could say in a couple of words, what is the main difference between DEFinance and Uniswap, for example, or Pancake or SushiSwap? What you would answer of this question?
Well, that's a really good question, Peter. But first of all, I would like to go and open you up about the history of the
Okay.
decentralization and the money. And like what you mentioned when it comes to the banks, and this is more like a positive rebellion wherein we are encouraging people to have ownership of what you supposed to have. So when it comes to decentralization, we are not against the government. We are not against anybody. We are just giving the ownership back to the people. According to the history of money, we were used to this type of process wherein there is a temple, and the temple stores all of the other assets, everything else, into one temple. And this temple now decides what to do with it, because you are now giving the authority for them to hold this type of assets. This was the tradition that we have been using over the last hundreds of years. Right after this temple was made, there was exactly called clay token, wherein this clay token holds a specific value of whatever crops, pigs, resources, gold, jewelries, whatever you wanted to place it on your clay token, and they store it on the temple as a proof that this is your secured asset. This is the process of what we are currently doing now in the banks. And now, how does the temple or how does the banks does the same when it comes to finance? Because what they're doing is that they are lending this money that we store on our own onto the bank, and they're giving it to the other people who are actually borrowing the money.
Yes.
So they are financing someone's else debt or loans based onto the money that we also put in. So this is the most traditional process of lending and collateral. Now, by calling it decentralization or decentralizing the finance, or the most commonly termed as the DeFi, with the help of blockchain technology, it actually helps you to force an agreement wherein there's no need for any intermediaries, and it gives you an accessibility for you to be able to earn directly from that specific execution. So this is how we are actually changing the industry, because we are now moving from the traditional aspect wherein we have everything on the bank, piece of paper that can be burned, can be torn away, and can be tampered, that there are many fake hash. But when it comes to blockchain, if you're holding the tokens itself, the tokens contains a unique code and highly encrypted, and that is backed with some financial value. And this is what decentralized finance is. All right?
Yes.
So DeFi gives you the functionality wherein you give accessibility for people to be able to borrow, or also you can lend this directly into another party, which you don't need any KYC, nothing else. So this is one of the process or one of the features of why decentralized finance is actually a good protocol and a good concept that can be applied to DEFinance. So that's how I can see it. Now, one good thing about DEFinance that the other doesn't have is that in Uniswap, my question is, if you trade on Uniswap, do you earn money from it?
Yeah, that's
No.
a big question. Yeah, of course.
Now, if you trade, you don't earn money from it because technically this is just an exchange. It's just using your funds for you to be able to trade it against the other people's funds. So you're not really earning money directly from any trade you execute on Uniswap. While on DEFinance, you as the holder of the DEFin token will have an ownership and you are acting as the stakeholder. With the power of the governance protocol, you and everybody who hold the DEFinance has the power to vote. You have the right to say, what would this exchange will do with the future?
Yeah.
Somebody wants to list their coins and you voted no, and the rest of the consensus or everybody in the community says no, then we can initiate a vote. If someone says, no, we're having a problem here, we want to fix this part, and someone submitted a proposal, everyone can submit a proposal. Everyone can say, hey, we want to do this. Is it okay if I can ask the community that we should do this one or to improve the exchange? And everyone can vote using your DEFinance token. So that's one of the advantages that you have compared to the others. Second, there is also our stable coin called FINA token. So the FINA token, it holds a specific stored value, which is backed by different currency. Multi-currencies, multi-assets, where you can convert the FINA token to AED, dollar, renminbi, Polish pounds, euro, USD, any currency directly on the wallet of DEFinance. So the plan for DEFinance is to develop first a strong community. Second, develop the exchange, a highly functional exchange that delivers less gas fee. Why is it important? Because in Uniswap, they are using the Ethereum blockchain,
Yes.
and the fee is very, very expensive.
Yeah.
It's very high fee. Now, the consumption of that, it's incurs. If you go directly, there is an application where you can see how much volume and traffic that the Ethereum network is doing. So it's causing traffic. Some of the transaction doesn't push through because it means this person is not giving them enough gas to push the car. So if the car doesn't have gas, then the transaction won't go through. Now, on our side, since we use a multi-layer when it comes to this exchange itself, and we are using Binance Smart Chain, you have the accessibility to even trade at a very low cost gas fee, and you won't even feel a thing when you send your money to anyone that you know, and you don't need to spend huge cost on remittances. So that's one of the features that DEFinance have, and why we enhance the protocol as well is for you to be able to earn directly as an affiliate, for you to be able to earn for every single referral that you have given, because you are contributing to the community. You are the stakeholder, you are the owner of the exchange, and in the end of the day, we are all making good money by sharing it all to the community.
Arthur, what are the questions people mostly ask you? Can you tell us something more?
The most frequent asked question that I receive is, can I make money with DEFinance? So I suppose Veronica already answered that one. But the other one, how certain the DEFinance exchange is? How reliable it is?
Well, compared to the other ICO, that's a good question. And out to the other exchanges, we always valued our words, because the way I see it is that I would rather stake my name on a project that I built, and I also invested time on this project wherein I can be proud of it. So that's one part. Second part, how reliable it will be, because on Binance Smart Chain compared to the Ethereum, there are many blockchains. There are so many blockchains. But
Yeah.
why would you choose Binance Smart Chain? So Binance Smart Chain is one of the most reliable blockchain as of now, and very strong. And they have accessibility as well to how many traders around the world. So when it comes to this protocol and it comes to this blockchain, it will help you reduces all of your cost consumption for the gas, and the block it actually confirms the transaction every 3 seconds. So every 3 blocks it confirms the transactions. Compared to the Ethereum, it takes a bit more longer to confirm the transaction. But for us, what's important is time. For me, I will always say, like, based on all of my experiences, why blockchain is created, because time. We want to save time. Time is money. Your time is valuable, my time is valuable, but how do we earn even while we sleep? So our time should be accounted every single time. So the way we put it on the finance exchange is that we want to make sure that every confirmation confirms, every is much faster. And every time that you send and every time that you execute a trade, you're only executing a small amount of gas fee. So there's not much high volume of trading fees that will be required as well every time that you trade on the finance. Plus, the advantages for you to be able to stake your assets. So, are you guys familiar with staking?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so when you stake the asset, it means that you are keeping this asset directly locked on a smart contract. So the smart contract will lock it. I don't have access on it. Neither anybody won't have access to it, because only you have access to it, but the smart contract will only lock the funds that you stake. But in return, the finance is rewarding you back some credits for you to be able to earn money directly from the amount that you stake. Now, what we're doing in this sense is that people will be borrowing the money from the exchange to trade on it. Now, this is where the money comes from. This is how we paid back our customers from the finance, for them to be able to earn directly from every trades, every transfers, every tools that's being added into the finance exchange. Everybody will be sharing a split of the funds that is getting onto this pool. So this is how we do it, and this is how you maximize your earning on the finance, either by yield
That's the
farming.
key you said, because that shows that we can hardly imagine something more secure than this example, what you said, of course.
Yes.
Great, great.
Well, Veronica, could I ask you a question just a bit out of the finance topic? What gives you the drive that
Power.
your commitment is so huge to this project that you're in? It's really incredible. I would like to know what gives you such power.
Well, I believe it's mostly about helping the people, because I I started into the blockchain space, and like what I said, that I have zero experiences. But every time I goes out, a lot of people ask me, like, how do they make money on anything else? So they always like to invest money on a high yield investment platform where they offer them huge, tremendous amounts of money, but nothing. By the end of the day, there's nothing. So I was inspired by the scammers. So if the scammers are really doing this heavily and they're scamming people, which is not correct, I don't feel like they should do it. Because when it comes to blockchain is such an amazing product that was created, and then everything goes transparent, everything is like equal, and everybody won't have the feeling of regrets when they invested their time and their money also, or they buy the tokens on and to some of the good projects, and directly they start earning from it, and they leave. I can see like a lot of people even in the Philippines were earning huge money as of now, just only doing all of these other things in the blockchain space. Now, what it also inspires me is like you guys, you are the believers. So you are also one of my inspiration because you believe that there should be a changes, that we should change our current process because we are all sick and tired of all these traditional ones who's controlling us, who's controlling
Yeah.
our own personal funds. For example, in my bank, they blocked my account many times just because I cannot prove where the money is coming from, wherein it's actually my money. I deposited the money myself, but if I am sending it out, no, you are limited. You can only give out this amount per day, and I am sick and tired of this type of process. So that's why I really love blockchain. I'm a huge fan of it. I met all the top influencers in the space already, which inspired me even more. And I want to empower more people by the future that like you will meet a waiter on the street or a tuk-tuk driver in Cambodia or in Thailand and say, hey, I'm accepting the finance token.
Veronica, I have a new goal, a new aim, because I would like to invite you to my country, to Cambodia, to
Yes.
encourage especially the women in Cambodia to take the power in their own hands to make something in business, because they are very ashamed in the business world. Their position is not so good, so they have to be encouraged much more. So I think we would like to plan some lectures, special lectures, first at the university in Cambodia, the Royal University, and then maybe in other places, especially for the women, for the Cambodia women. That would be make a very big change. I'm sure you know that will be a small women revolution here. So we can do some wonderful things. I don't know how it's looked like in the Philippines, but I think there is some need to do something like this in Cambodia.
Yes, of course. I always travel to Cambodia. I have a lot of Cambodian friends as well, and who has been involved into crypto since the last 7 years of their
Yeah,
life.
oh, nice.
Yeah. So I have a huge group also in Cambodia. Um, Today I posted it on the Telegram. I post them the CTO of DEFinance, and they congratulate me as well. And they said that this is a really great project, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. Also, Peter, I wanted to make some good announcement because I think the team should know that in the next coming days, the
Yes.
exchange is going to be live and ready, and people will now be able to use the features as a beta testing. So it's just a testing stage, so everybody can contribute and say what is your experience, how we can improve it, and
Yes.
of course, we want to make sure that's very easy to use. And one good news is that on October 20, we will have the DEFinance app wallet. So on the DEFinance app wallet, you will be able to download it directly in Play Store and App Store, and you can store your assets securely. So that's one of the features that the finance app is. And then you can also check the latest feeds about crypto and blockchain. You can also see the latest events. And if you want to participate into all of these events, you can actually join and just buy a ticket. Another part, which is very exciting, I'm very excited about this news, is that we are launching the first NFT
Yes.
of DEFinance.
Yes.
So this NFT is very powerful, and I encourage everyone to post on your Twitter account the fist. So everybody should take a selfie and post on your Twitter and tag DEFinance app and say, we are free, we are solid, we are united, we want
Wonderful.
to be
Great.
free. Hellion. So always tag DEFinance, and as a good news for that, everyone who participates will receive a unique NFT stored with 500 DEFin tokens, which is worth $5 million. So we are distributing up to 20,000 wallet holders only, a limited edition of a fist NFT tokens of DEFinance app.
Veronica, could you tell the people something more about the NFT tokens? Because I think it will be for part of us something new, and we have not already spoken about this. How we can deal with the NFT token? What would you like to say?
Well, that's a good question because NFT means non-fungible token. It means unique. It's just like you, just like Adam Adams. He's unique on his own. So you cannot clone Adam Adams. You cannot clone Peter. Peter has a unique DNA. So the unique tokens, what is the big hype of the NFT? If you go into Twitter right now and you start Googling non-fungible token that sold for $26 million, $26 million. And there's also a piece of picture of a stone sold by the infamous Justin Sun for $1.6 million. Now, say, what is an NFT anyway? So NFT is kind of piece of art. So this is a jewelry. It's unique on its own. So this is considerably an NFT, which is only created by few craftsmen for jewelry. So it's very unique. It's more like an art piece, and people are going to buy it. Since it's very, very limited, the price on the auction, the NFT price goes higher and higher as people start bidding and they want this piece of artwork, just like you have a Picasso at home. So
Yes.
Picasso is one of the most expensive painting. And why do people buy it? Because the value stored into that art piece. So NFT consists of this value, and people right now are crazy to have these NFTs to their own wallet. So that's something new with DEFinance, and you are guys would be the first to receive a unique NFT that
Wonderful.
will have a huge value in the future.
Wonderful.
It's truly incredible, Veronica, what you just mentioned. It's amazing, to be honest.
Okay, maybe Artur, what do you think, Veronica? Maybe we let some other people to ask questions. Maybe they are they have some questions to you, especially because me and Artur, they have almost every day. But we are celebrating the meeting with you together today. So I think maybe there is someone who wants to ask something. My dear society, maybe someone has a question to Veronica, so ask, please. Artur, I think you have to encourage the people.
Right, so I'll lead the way, and I would like you to ask Veronica, what would you say to women in Poland? How should they get involved, and how should they come across blockchain? What they should think about it? How would you encourage them?
Well, my first encouragement is follow your dreams. So what do you really want to do with your life? So that's something. If you want to change and you want to be a part of this, you should be willing to learn first, because learning is something that cannot be offered by any schools and university. This is life experiences. By experiencing it, meaning you will be a part of it. You need to sleep with it. You need to think together with it. You need to have it together with you almost every single day. Now, being a part of blockchain, I know it's going to be a bit hard and complicated to most of the other people as well, but you need to take your time, because on my time, there was no resources all over. It was 2015 and I bought Bitcoin out of nowhere. And I was so scared that they're going to scam me with my money. And then I ended up like, thank God, I bought the Bitcoin, I made profit. And all of this profit, I used it all over the years. And I made good amount of profit when I started doing this. Right afterwards is that I started doing my own research. Research in a sense, let's say, Justina is so beautiful and she's a big fan of music. So with Justina's fan of music, and then she likes art, she likes to draw, she can start doodling, or let's say checking out more about how to use art in blockchain. And it starts from their own passion because she loves art, and now she's a good graphic designer. She can place her artwork and sell it as an NFT, and she starts earning money. So that's the simplest way. Another way is, let's say, a woman in e-commerce and you own a store. Another way for you to be able to be involved that is that you start accepting crypto as payment to your store. So it's the most simplest way, simplest process. You don't need to be an expert on it, but slowly as the time gets by, you get to learn more and more on how does this process works. And there are many resources because I run my own school. I have a school in the Philippines. We are fully regulated private school, and I'm opening my college as well. So we are opening different doors and different courses on Unifinity Institute. So we will be placing different courses, different materials about blockchain, about crypto, even anything, even in fintech, digital marketing, and everybody can purchase or they can actually get into the free session or free training that we also offer one of these days. So yeah, if you are very, very interested and keen to be a part of it, you can visit unifinity.institute or even on our website. And we will be putting a lot of educational resources which can help you guys on learning more about this space.
This, this what is mostly annoying for me and irritating, the big fear, so big irrational fear from about scams on internet. It is very difficult sometimes to encourage the people in the right way because they are worrying so much that everything is a scam in internet. That's the one point. And the second point about stereotypes, that people think it is something only for the new generation, only for the young people, and that's not true. That's misleading our thoughts because it is for everyone. And as you said, Veronica, exactly, it is so simple. We don't have to, we don't need to understand how the fridge is working, how the computer is working inside. We just use it. On the same way, we can use cryptocurrencies, or then on the same way, we can use blockchain without understanding anything about proceeding the codes. So it is. I think it's not only a matter of education. I think it's also a matter of how to encourage the people, how to tell the people about this. Yeah.
That is correct, Peter. Here in Dubai, I met a lady called Crypto Granny. So Crypto Granny, she's already
Nice.
80, I believe 80 years old. I'm not, if I'm not mistaken, and she's one of the oldest lady in the crypto space and one of the most known as well and highly respected. So when I met her the first time, I was so excited because I've never seen someone who is so empowered. And she said, no, it's not about the age. It's about you accepting it. And she's empowering more people at the same age. So he said, blockchain is for everyone. It doesn't matter how old you are. It is actually for everybody to use and everybody to give it a try.
Yes, there's one thing more. People nowadays didn't realize that real virtual money is the are the national currencies, are the typical national currencies because they have in a bank, in every bank they have a virtual form, only a electronic form. So it comes to a small paradox because now when we look at the cryptocurrencies, they seem to be much more real than our national currencies, much more real and maybe much more touchable than the fiat currencies.
Yes, that is correct, Peter. I saw a question here, like, how does it feel to be an executive woman working in the blockchain space? And what are your challenges? So
yes.
Thank you for that question. So for me, being an executive woman in the space, it's like a dream come true. because at this point of life and point of time, it's more like an achievement already for what I have overcome in the space, because it was a challenge, because there are only few women that are very successful as well in the crypto space, and they have faced tremendous amount of effort and time to be where they're at. Some of the challenges is that since this is a male dominated space, it's not that easy as well for us to be able to get the recognition also, but it depends on how you're actually putting yourself through. So that's one thing. And sometimes, of course, you will face like some guys, they'll just flirt with you and tell you like this or like some other challenges like that. But by the end of the day, if you know how you show yourself to the public, and you know what you're doing, you really did work hard on it, then I don't think that there would be any challenges as well faced in the future.
So, Veronica, we made already the first, the second, maybe the third step. The finance stock will came through, but maybe we can speak something more about the mystery, which will be the next step for the next mission for our team, besides the education, of course.
Yes, absolutely. So this is going to be very exciting for everyone. The first step right now, the moment that you are now on Twitter, take a selfie, or everybody should open up your camera right now, take a selfie and show the fist.
The symbol of rebellion, the positive rebellion. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Let's make a viral campaign that everybody in this call right now should show your fist, and we post it on Twitter and say yes to DEFinance.
Yes, because you all are listening us. You should be aware of it that DEFinance is not only Veronica. DEFinance is our whole community, whole society we have created already. So it's all of us. All of us. We should be united.
Yes, and right now DEFinance is at 25 cents per public sale. So everybody right now, all you need to do is just go directly to swap.DEFinance.app, get your referral link, and start.
But Veronica, only a couple of hours, because it will change since tomorrow. I will announce only in a short way. The price will increase of 50 cents. So since tomorrow, it is 50 cents. Yeah,
it will be 50 cents.
Yes,
wow. Yes. Wow, well, congratulations to those early adopters then.
Yes.
You guys are lucky. I need to buy my coin now. Yes. Well, that's the great news. I mean, this is going to be very exciting. So you can see that the price will change to 50 cents, and even the listing would be $1. So you guys should take your referral link, go to swap.DEFinance.app, and start telling people about this great news of the rebellion.
Okay, Veronica, so I took advantage of hosting this meeting. I would like to ask you a question. Either you're going to connect the dots and make a connection between Unifinity and DEFinance. Are you going to list the token of Unifinity in DEFinance?
Yes, we are. We are listing the token of Unifinity in DEFinance, and we are also announcing it to our community to also participate and be a part of the DEFinance community, because DEFinance is more like an exchange for everybody. We want to make sure that all of the tokens as well that we have will be listed in the DEFinance app, and will also have the yield farming functionality.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, there was a question here, like with Magdalena.
Yes, the question is, what are your price predictions for the DeFi? What can we say about this, Veronica?
Well, let me just give you one good explanation, because if you know that DeFi space, some of the tokens when they get to list at $1, this is based on to how many people are holding and believing and trading on the coin, on the assets itself. So the coin may go up in the future. It may go up to 1,000, 2,000, 50,000. We don't know. Just the same as how Bitcoin is. Before, nobody believes in Bitcoin. They see Bitcoin like nothing. But the people who hold Bitcoin since 2008 and until now are the billionaires, because they believed on it. All you need to do is just to hold the DeFi token and wait until the price goes stable at that time, because the more people who believe, the more people who hold the token, that's the time that the coin will have its huge value in the future. Now, with the burn functionality of the DeFin token, since we are also going to initiate the complete burn, and the coin is very limited to 100 million only in circulation, then in the next span of 2 years, there would be constant burn. So the price of the coin will always go up and like this and go up. So we cannot predict how much would be the price in the future. But one thing for sure is that the people behind here are more dedicated to put their time and effort to make sure that we will all be successful. So
Yes, okay.
what was the
Okay, I think we can say we are sentenced to success. Sentenced to success. Yes,
yes,
for
of
sure.
course.
And there's another question, Veronica. What was the purpose of setting up the exchange, rather making a profit or rather fighting for liberty?
Well, I think this is a bit more of a mix of two questions,
Both.
but yeah.
And the
Yes,
third
yes.
question, the third question, especially for you, is it difficult to be a woman in crypto world? Is this world ruled by men? I'm afraid a little bit, yes. Yes, I think especially in Dubai. What do you think, Veronica? How is it in Dubai?
Well, I don't think that it is difficult for a woman to be a part of the crypto world, because you just need to be firm and you just need to tell them the truth, because there's nothing to hide anyway. As long as you're always true to your words, and as long as you're actually following and just stating like what you can deliver and what you cannot deliver, and you're straightforward and clear, I believe it's not going to be difficult for you to be a part of this industry. But what would be, it's, let's say it's up to your feelings. No, it's like if you felt like you don't belong, all you need to do is just to have a self-confidence, to believe in yourself. If you start believing in yourself, then it changes afterwards.
Exactly. We have here a very interesting question on point 4. Have you ever met Herbert Raphael Sim?
Yes,
so we have someone who does not believe that we are working together. So what could you answer?
Yeah, actually, Herbert and I were good friends. We've met each other since the early stage. That was 2017 when I was traveling back and forth to Singapore, and I've been attending all of this blockchain conference. So the Bitcoin man, he always traveled with this Bitcoin logo on his chest, and he always have this golden chain. So that what makes him unique. Now, when we met, he's a very smart man. And at the same time, he teaches me more about the crypto industry. I learned a lot from some of his resources. So he have developed some books. He have written some other articles as well about crypto. He always speaks in the conference. And I admired that he's actually down-to-earth person. So you can freely approach him, ask him questions, and then he will actually help you out.
Yes, his international sign is the Bitcoin man. I think we can say in the nearest future, Veronica, the DEFinance woman. What do you think?
Thank you. I believe we can call every woman in here as the DEFinance woman.
Okay, and because next question. Hi, Ms. Veronica, does DEFinance have venture capitals?
Yes, that is a good question. Yes, I believe that the team were also talking to the few venture capitals, and I believe that there are few interested parties already who are now going to put some liquidity and also be a part of the finance itself. So slowly, we will see like on the next future announcements, of course. But since Herbert joins us already, he also encouraged other VCs and other funds to be a part of the DEFinance exchange.
Well, regarding Herbert, I don't know if you noticed, but he happened to be on this particular meeting in the very beginning. He showed himself here.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I have not...
he was here.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay, because we have a special, maybe not interview, but some talk with him on Thursday, as far as I remember. On Thursday, small conversation with Herbert. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
So
so we have the last possibility now. We have the last possibility to ask the last question. So if someone is encouraged enough to ask the question, please do it now, because we have only a couple of minutes. So please, does anyone have any question?
But maybe not,
Open
Bożena
communication.
here. Yeah. Bożena here. Perhaps it's not a question, but thanks. First of all, Veronica, thank you a lot for the idea, for your engagement. And I like very much what you told, that you are not against anybody. Yes, and
Yes.
that this project is for everybody. And it brings me to the idea how it could happen and what would happen to this traditional world of banking and everybody. Does it mean that your project and actually crypto projects are very, how to say, dangerous, because they are so wonderful and giving people freedom, and they could be easily attacked somehow, that this traditional world would not be, how to say, anonymous, or should rather be against such a solution?
Bożena, wonderful question. Thank you for this question. Veronica, what would you like to say?
Well, you're right about that. I mean, when it comes to the security, hacking, and this, what I always suggest to the people is that safe keep your private key, because on the decentralized and this exchanges, this is totally decentralized. We don't have access to your wallet. We don't have access to your private keys. So how you can secure it is that you keep it either inside and you remember your private key, or you store it somewhere else that's safe, that nobody can touch it. So that's one way that you can protect yourself from hackers. Compared to the banks and traditional world, a robber can enter the bank with a gun and take the money from the bank. While here, it's a bit more different. Hackers, they need to have huge amount of power for them to be able to break the blockchain. I don't think that it is possible, that maybe not yet now, or maybe in the near future. But of course, what we will do is to add more higher security onto the decentralized exchange, so that way we can actually improve as well the storage and the capacity, or even onto your wallets, because also on the wallet itself, it is purely secured with 3-factor of authentication that only you have access to it. Compared to the other wallets, they don't have the fingerprint and the scan, so you have the 3D authenticator. Every time that you cash out and withdraw, it asks for your email, it goes to your verification and scan and overall. So there's one way that you can actually protect yourself from any of those hackers, and also how we protect our applications in DEFinance.
Veronica, the problem I see is that many people haven't noticed or haven't realized yet that there's a big difference between decentralized stock and centralized stock. So they have false imagination about this. They think there are special wallets on the stock. No, they are not. We are using our own wallets, so you have not to transfer the money to any stock account, because there will be no stock account there. Yeah.
That is correct, because this one, you have complete access to your funds. When you send it directly to your MetaMask, you're actually holding it. Nobody has access to it. No intermediaries, no companies holding it, because you are the owner of your own funds. So that's the benefits of having a decentralized wallet. And those private keys, and you are storing the 24 words or the 12 words, you need to keep it safely. Because when people find out and know what is this 12 words, and that's the time, of course, that you are now going to be prone from hacking. But I always suggest to never click any email, because some email, it can lead access to your account, and never even believe some hacker asking for OTP onto your wallet, or someone tells you like, hey, I send an OTP by mistake, I send it to you. So never ever give out OTP without checking who is the source or who's asking it. So always protect yourself. Number one advice is via email. Don't click links immediately. Second is that store your private keys in a secured place. And third, never give out your OTP or one-time PIN to anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions maybe? No, Veronica, I would like to say I'm very grateful. I appreciate everything you have said today, but not only this. I'm very grateful privately, because I don't know if you know or not. My wife is half Philippine and half Cambodia, and during the last 2 years. She didn't want to hear anything about cryptocurrencies. No, that is your field. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And now, after your speech, she saw you in internet, and she is enforcing me now today to make an appointment with you to get in the cryptocurrency world. So I'm very grateful, Veronica, also privately. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. You are great.
Thank you, everyone.
I would like to also extend those gratitudes towards your commitment and work and dedication of time towards developing the DEFinance project, Veronica. That's the effect already is tremendous, and I suppose it will be very successful in the coming days. So thank you very much.
We are going to be very successful. Our success is your success. So let's support DEFinance. Let's show the fist. Everybody should show the fist. Let's take a selfie, everyone. Okay. I mean, someone take a selfie.
Yes.
And let's all take a selfie.
All right, everyone, together, the fists up, the camera's on, and the fists up. Come on.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
everyone together. Come on.
And share it across the social media. Let's share it on Twitter. Tag DEFinance. Tell them freedom from finance.
Freedom together with Kozakiewicz.
Together. Can someone take a selfie and then share it across social media?
Well, yes. I did, Veronica. I did. Yes, I do have 2 selfies. No problem.
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you all, and looking forward in the next coming days on this amazing project.
Thank you, Veronica.
Thanks, Veronica.
Take care.
Nice
bye.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.